Hello again, Nothing Fancy here with a couple tactical knives, and we are talking about tactical knives in this knife review. I'll cover 3 of them. Let's remind ourselves what we mean by tactical. That's a defensive blade designed primarily to defend ourselves against bad guys. You might have a secondary utility use out of these knives, but they're, in my opinion, primarily designed as weapons, which is great. And my comments in my Continuum of Force video kind of apply here as well. Keep in mind, as a tactical knife, and this is the Kershaw Lahar knife, model 1750, plain edge. Keep in mind, as a tactical blade, it might have some limitations in the realm of utility work, i.e. it's probably heavier, blade is bigger than it probably should be in most utility functions, and yeah, you can do it. But in my opinion, in my experience, you're better served with a smaller and lighter blade. It's much more maneuverable, more useful. However, as a tactical blade, its function is to defend your life, that of your loved ones, your friends, whatnot, and I'll evaluate these knives in that regard. First off, of course, like I said, the Kershaw Lahar, that's the box it comes in. Great. This is a medium-sized tactical knife with a VG10 steel blade. This particular one is satin finished with a plain edge. Comes razor sharp out of the box. Excellent job, Kershaw, on that. They're very good on that on most of their knives. It's a thumb stud deploying knife, liner lock model. Let's talk about the blade first. Again, VG10, good blade shape, nice sweep, has some underbelly here with a nice tip. You know I'm a fan of some good belly on my knife, because primarily we'll be slashing with that knife, and a belly knife can always penetrate with a thrust as well, no problem, especially when it's swaged like this with a reinforced tip like the Lahar. Deployment speed on this knife is adequate. I wouldn't classify it as ultra fast. Medium speed deployment. It does take a little bit of forethought on how you're going to do it. You can either do it with a thumb stud like I just did there, or we can go with the flipper device, and we'll still need a little bit of wrist action to pop that out. Easy enough to do, no problem. I have tinkered with the pivot screw on this one, torqued to see if I could lighten up, i.e. speed up the deployment on this particular knife, and I wasn't overly successful. It remains a medium speed deploying knife in my opinion. Slower than a Benchmade and a Spyderco, but adequate. Handle. This is a steel constructed knife, has steel liners here with G10 slabs on the outside. G10 is probably my favorite overall tactical knife handle material. Actually, for any knife, I love it, as long as they finally checker it like this. There's a lot of knives that they screw up the G10, they polish it, they don't checker it, but if you finally check it, all 3 of these knives I'm going to show you have it. It's very good, provides excellent purchase, and yet it doesn't rip your skin or clothing. As soon as you lock into it, you can hold it. Additionally, and you know from my other videos, I love this. It's got good, sharp jimping on the back spine of the blade for control. Good job on that, Kershaw. This is not a flow-through design knife, i.e. it's not pillar construction. It has an insert of Zytel in between the stainless steel liners, which is fine. I don't mind. Pillar construction's great, but if I don't have, that's cool too. Like I mentioned in another video, if you get your knife muddy, you're pretty much going to have to take it apart to get it functioning nice and smooth again. Here comes a clip. You know Nothing Fancy has a lot of clip preferences. This one's reversible from tip down to my favorite tip up carry. As a right-hander, again, tip up for me is faster. As I come out, the presentation of the knife is ready to go, and I'm ready to deploy. I like that. As in all these knives, the clip should always be mounted just as high as we can on the butt of the knife, and they didn't do that here, but that's life. You can't get everything. Get the most we can. Speaking of the handle, I would like to have a little more length in this knife. The handle for me is a little bit short. My hands are somewhat large, not huge. There's definitely bigger for sure, but this handle's a little bit small. You do have enough protrusion here. You can use this as an impact device on the sternum or a pressure point in a non-lethal fashion, which is great, but I wouldn't mind maybe a ½ inch more length in this particular handle, mainly because this is not a light knife. It's a 5.8 ounce knife, this Kershaw Lahar, which in my opinion is a little bit heavy for a tactical knife. Anyways, that's a Kershaw Lahar in a nutshell. Let's look at some competitors. First up is the Emerson waved CQC-8. This is an excellent tactical knife, primarily designed for defensive purposes again, which is awesome. We like that when we want a knife that serves that purpose. Has a great blade shape, nice sweep to the blade. It's not too wide, unlike I think the Lahar blade, which is overly wide. It makes it hard to go through material should you have to use it in a non-lethal or in a utility role. And this knife might serve better that way. It does have kind of a mid-spine grind on it. Again, I like a full grind going all the way up to the back of that hilt, but it's fine. The biggest problem I have with the blade of its design is coming from Emerson. They grind it to a single-edged grind. Why they do that, I don't know. I hate single-edge grinds. You guys may like it. I don't. I find it disrupts the cut as you make it. So I took this knife to a sharpener, Razor's Edge in Salt Lake City namely. They reprofiled it, got it squared away for me. Something I can't do myself because I'm not that skilled. How you doing? Anyways, this sucker's razor sharp now. It's got a great grind on it. The blade is now fully functional in my opinion. Excellent. It's made of 154 cm steel, which is highly proven. Holds a good edge. A lot of you guys know all about that steel, so I won't go in depth on it. The deployment options on the CQC-8 are, first off, you have that pocket flipper that you can grab, and I think there's other videos showing how you can do that. Put it on the edge of a pocket and grab it and out flips the blade. Or my preferred fashion on all my tactical manual folders is just the thumb stud. In this particular example, it has a thumb disc on the top of the spine. Then I'll just go ahead and deploy that with adequate speed. Not super fast as CQC-8, but it's adequate enough. This one has a blackened blade, of course, which is fine. Tactical. I personally think that a silver or satin finished blade is more effective in a defensive knife as you bring it out. And if you bring it out in a defensive situation, you want the bad guy to see what you got. And intimidation factor might be a good thing, i.e. silver blade is more visible. The handle is excellent. It's checkered, finely checked G10 material, just like the Lahar knife. Steel lined, which means it is somewhat heavy. 5.2 ounces for the CQC-8. Not too bad, not too heavy. However, I would like a lighter knife, and we'll talk about something I think even beats this. Good pocket clip here. Same comments apply. Wish it was all the way back on the butt. The handle's excellent in that it's long enough that you can use it as an impact device. Even with the blade folded, we can go ahead and use that as an impact device, just like we talked about with Lahar. It's longer than Lahar, has more purchase, and I like that, especially for a folding fighting knife. The jimping on the back of the blade sucks. This is just for looks only. It's not sharp enough to really provide purchase for your thumb. You'll roll right over it. It does have a ramp on it due to the pocket flipper. However, I would like to see that jimping really sharp. That's a Emerson waved CQC-8 knife. Pressing on, Spyderco Military. This is a famous knife with a lot of users. When I first got this knife, to be honest, I wasn't enamored with it. I thought the handle was overly large in comparison to its blade. I thought the ratio was out of whack. But in using it, especially in winter operations, I find the handle is awesome. It's actually oversized and perfectly so you can have a lot of purchase. Again, you have the impact option here. It's finely checked G10. And congratulations to Spyderco. They didn't put steel liners in this G10 handle. I mean, there's some for the liner lock, but on this side there's nothing. And that makes it a knife that's much lighter. 4.2 ounces to be exact. Great job, Spyderco. Great jimping, sharp on the back spine of the knife. Excellent sweep of the blade. It's excellent steel. CPM S30V. It's typical Spyderco sweep. I don't like the clip. I wish it was on this end. Typical thing. But overall, out of all the three knives that I've shown you, this is my preferred tactical carry out of these three knives. Love it. Lightweight, fast deployment, big thumb circle for deploying, good jimping, excellent G10 handle, really smooth liner lock actuation as well. So of the Lahar CQC-8 Spyderco Military, I prefer the Spyderco Military. Lighter weight, faster, nice handle. A+ Spyderco. Nothing fancy. Out.